Today Baba is telling us that we are the souls who are living in households, but we are not ordinary householders. We are holding Baba's hand, and while living in the household, I am in the Confluence age, and I am going from this Tamo Pradhan world to the Sato Pradhan world. And Baba says that we must be aware of this all the time. Because most of the time, Maya, how Maya attacks us, it makes you slip into ordinary consciousness. And Baba says, although, we are living in an ordinary setting, in an ordinary context, but we are not ordinary. While living in the household, this journey of the Confluence age from Kaliyug to Satyug is being made. And Baba says that we are the ones who are holding Baba's hand. Now, what does Baba mean by holding Baba's hand? So, the soul doesn't have a physical hand, nor does Baba have a physical hand. And in Bhakti also, there is this representation of God in the Jagannath temple where they show God without hands. And why? Because it is supposedly, so Baba says that it's not the physical hand that Baba talks about. So what is the hand of the soul? What is the hand of Baba? It's shrimat. And Baba's hand is shrimat, and the soul's hand is the buddhi. So when I surrender my buddhi to shrimat, then it is like holding Baba's hand. And Baba is the father, the teacher, and when I accept Baba as the teacher and I start imbibing the teachings from Baba, so you see that we already have a lot of teaching from Ravan Rajya in my intellect. So if you see the intellect is full of what we call Ravan Mat, the dictates of Ravan. And there are so many belief systems, so many things that, in Ravan Rajya have been filled into my intellect. And when Baba comes, Baba tells us the truth. And Baba tells us the story. So as the ocean of knowledge, Baba tells me the story of the rise and fall of Bharat. And Baba tells me that in the two yugas in the beginning, you were in the Sun dynasty and the Moon dynasty. You were Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi. You were in Satyug and in Treta Yuga, and you were ruling the world. And you were taking care of not only the souls but the elements, everything you took care of through your being. You, the being, were so powerful, so pure that you ruled the world, and the world also had that state of happiness because of your purity. And then look at what happened when we came down. So Baba reminds us that we souls belong to that world, and in that world Baba tells us that everything operated through the power of purity. Do you understand that even the Pushpak Vimans in Satyug would operate on the basis of purity. So it is the power of purity through which the power of, the mind, the pure mind through which you would operate the Vimans. And Baba says that you will be able to the nature, the 5 elements of nature will be absolutely cooperative with us, because we are pure souls, and every soul will be cooperative with us on the basis of purity. And Baba reminds us that this was my state. And you see, in the current time, when I belong to Baba, the Father, the teacher in this Confluence age, then Baba is giving us platefuls of jewels of knowledge. And you see in Bhakti, they say that the ocean gave platefuls of jewels, and thaliyan bhar bhar ke ratan. And Baba says that it is not the ocean that gives you plateful of jewels, but I am the ocean of knowledge, and I give you this knowledge which is like jewels. And what happens when you get a jewel, or what happens when you have jewels? You become wealthy, right? So Baba says that similarly, as you imbibe these jewels of knowledge, you become wealthy. You become not just wealthy, but peaceful, happy, prosperous, harmonious, everything. But Baba says you have to imbibe these jewels of knowledge. And what is the jewel of knowledge? The jewels of knowledge that Baba gives us is the story of our beginning, middle and end, the story of the rise and fall of Bharat. And Baba reminds me that I am that soul who, for 2 yugas, I was the pure soul ruling in the pure world. And I am that soul who, every cycle along with Baba, I am the one who becomes pure and purifies the world and creates a world of purity from this world of impurity. So Baba gives us this jewels of knowledge. And these jewels of knowledge, what do they do to me when I imbibe it? I realize who I am. I realize what is my duty. I realize and I start taking up my unlimited duty and act according to it. So I'll give you one example. There was this one brother and he visited yesterday, and he told me that he was a first timer. He had never been to a BK center, and he told me that I've come for the first time, and the first thing he told me is, I don't have any stress or I don't have any problems. So what do you have here for me? So I said, we are not problem solvers. So although, if you had come and told me that you are in stress, or, you are feeling whatever you want to change within yourself, then I would have told you that this place will help you do that. But that's not our primary job. What we do here is we make you realize who you really are. Because whatever you are doing right now in this world is much below your potential. Yes, and Baba says that, we souls who are studying here, who are here and studying from Baba, and we are not ordinary souls. What is the sign that I am a Brahmin to be a deity, or I was a deity soul, or I am that soul who becomes a deity soul every cycle? So what is the sign of that? The sign of that is that I am studying from Baba today. So when I become a Brahmin, I have to know that only the one who was a deity and a Kshatriya and a Vaishya and a Shudra and now becomes a Brahmin becomes a deity again. So when you are a Brahmin, you have to know that you have been in Satyug and you're going back to Satyug. So Baba says that in the Confluence age, when we become adopted children from Baba, then we have to realize who we really are. And when I realize that, then I start using, my mind, my body, my wealth for seva. And I start using whatever I have for creation of this pure world. So Baba says, this jewels of knowledge that Baba gives us about who I am, who I belong to, and what is my beginning, middle, and end. And when I imbibe these jewels of knowledge, then what I get through that is elevated consciousness. And have you seen that the moment you sit and listen to, there's a commentary playing, and that commentary is telling you that you are the ancestor soul, you are the purifiers of the world, you are the one who purifies the elements, you are the ones who the world is waiting for. Then have you seen how much change in consciousness happens just in those 5-10 minutes? Am I right? Yes. So just in those 5-10 minutes, there is such a shift in consciousness. And Baba says that I am really reminding you of your powers, your virtues, your duties, your responsibilities, your capacity as a soul. You are not an ordinary soul. And Baba says that I'm telling you that you ruled the world with the power of love for 2 yugas. Not just souls, but even the elements of nature. They followed every direction you gave because you had that power of purity and that power of love. So Baba says that I remind you of who you really are by giving you this knowledge, and that is why these are called the jewels of knowledge. But how do you keep these jewels of knowledge in your awareness? How do you not slip into ordinary consciousness again and again? So through yoga power, because Baba says that the intellect which holds these jewels of knowledge is purified when we have yoga with Baba. And when I have yoga with Baba, then I will be able to remember or uphold or, hold in my awareness that which Baba is speaking to me. So because I don't have yoga with the teacher, that's why, momentarily that intoxication shoots up, but then it comes down because I have yoga with the whole world after that. But if I made the effort to have yoga with Baba, constant yoga with Baba, then I will imbibe these jewels of knowledge. And these jewels of knowledge will make me earn an income through my mind, body, and wealth. So, when I do karma in this elevated consciousness, even, the thoughts that I create in this elevated consciousness, it is going to benefit every soul and every element of nature. And through that benefit, I will get the blessings and the income that I need to finish my karmic accounts and go to that new world order. So Baba tells us that Baba is the one who gives us these jewels of knowledge, and I should have the enthusiasm that I am learning, I am studying from the Supreme Teacher himself, and always have yoga with the Supreme Teacher and keep these jewels of knowledge in my awareness. So first thing that we have to do is take care that I imbibe these jewels of knowledge and I stay in yoga and not allow myself to slip into ordinary consciousness. And Baba says, if you did this much, then while living in the household, you would not be somebody who is just an ordinary householder. You will be somebody who is having this journey of going from Kalyug to Satyug. You are in the household, but you are in the confluence age. You are the ones who are going from the impure world to a pure world, creating a world of purity. If you just hold these jewels of knowledge in your awareness and start acting according to it, because you see, whatever you hold in your buddhi becomes the basis of your thought, word, and action. And when I am knowledgeful, then my thought, word, and action is knowledgeful and powerful. So, knowledge is power, right? So, when I am in my elevated consciousness, when I remember who I am, or what is my journey through the cycle, or what is my duty in Sangam Yuga, or how powerful I am as an agent of change, then what I start doing is I start supporting or cooperating with this world through my thought, word, and act. And Baba says, if you just did that, if you purified yourself through yoga power and you served the world, then what would you become? Right now, you may be in a very ordinary context, you may be a simple householder, but by doing that, you are in confluence age and you shift from an impure world to a pure world. But then Baba says that apart from knowledge and yoga, there is also Maya. And Baba tells us that one of our titles in Sangam Yuga is, we are the unknown warriors. Yes, and we are the, we are the non-violent, unknown warriors. And who are we? Who are we at war with? We are at war with Maya. And do you know that if somebody is a warrior, then that warrior, that person, that Sainik or that warrior, they can never be not alert. Yes, so when you're on the battlefield, you always have to be alert. And there are only two things that a warrior does: prepare for war and be at war. So, when you're not at war, you're preparing for war. You're preparing yourself, bracing yourself up for wartime. And when there is war, you are at war. So have you seen how the defense, people who are at the defense, they never miss their training, even if there is no war. So you see, this country has not seen a war in a long time now. But then what do the defense personnel keep doing? They keep preparing themselves, because the war could be any time. And that's why, so the occupation or what the warrior does is keep preparing for war in peacetime, and when there is war, be at war. So Baba says, you are also the non-violent incognito warriors. Now Baba says, why are we non-violent warriors? Because we are not having a war in which we are using weapons of physical violence. So we are not violent warriors, we are not using physical weapons of violence, nor are we registered with the government as some defense army or something. We are not registered anywhere, but we are the incognito non-violent warriors that are creating this. Why do people go for war? The aim is to acquire, acquire a state, acquire a kingdom. And Baba says, now we are also in this process of acquiring our world of peace, purity, and prosperity. and we are changing our destiny from this world of sorrow to that world of happiness. So there is this war, but this war is with Maya. This is an internal, incognito, non-violent war that we are always at. And as a warrior, what do I have to do? I have to always keep preparing. And what is the preparation that I have to do? I have to be very, I have to create the power to discern and to become Maya Jeet, to discern Maya and get over Maya, win over Maya. So, how do I create the discernment for Maya? So, you see, just like Baba is the ocean of knowledge, Baba keeps telling us the methods how to be Maya Jeet. And I have to keep paying attention to the Murli, because in the Murli, Baba tells us how Maya comes, or in what methods Maya comes, or in what disguise Maya comes. And Baba also tells us about how we need to prepare ourselves to not be cheated or deceived or thrown off by Maya. So, in today's Murli, what the cautions that Baba gives is, first thing, do not have love for any bodily being. Do not be trapped in the name and form of any bodily being. Because if that happens, then that trap will be the trap that Maya will use. And you see that when we love people in the world, we are not in love with the souls, because do you know the soul that is inside the body? Do you know anybody? Do you know their sanskars? Do you know their intentions 100%? Yes? Do you know them? Do you know their journey? Do you know their future? Do you know any bodily being? You don't know anybody. You don't know how vicious they are. You don't know who they are. You don't know their journey. You don't know their fortune. You know nothing about any soul. And that is why, when you say, I love somebody, you're just attached to that name and form that soul has. And you think that is the truth. That is who they are. They are how they smile, how they talk. They are how they walk, how they look. But are they that? They are not. They are, that soul is very different from the image that you're attached to. And Baba says that every soul has its own journey, and every soul has, nobody is the supreme soul, nobody is knowledgeful, peaceful, pure, or loveful, blissful, or nobody is the benefactor apart from Baba. And everybody is precisely the opposite of that. So you don't have to be in the trap of the body and the bodily being, the name and form of the bodily being. You have to understand that every soul today is vicious, and if you allow yourself to be deluded by a bodily being, then that door Maya will use to cheat you. And I'll tell you one incident. There was this one Mata, and she used to come to the center, and her husband, he didn't like the fact that she's coming to the center. And he tried to stop her, but then she didn't stop. And then what the husband did is, he started coming to the center with her. And full 5 years, the husband came to the center. And that brother, he convinced that Mata that, I'm on the same page with you. And then after 5 years, the brother, he started finding faults with, the center and Baba and knowledge and this and that. And then, because the mother thought that this is a person who loves me so much, and this is a person who became to Baba for me, and that was his proof of love. He never liked the organization, but he still cooperated with me. And then this is the person who loves me so much that he came all this way for me. She had a lot of love for that Yugal. And that Yugal then, that became the door of Maya, and the Mata also left. And then whatever the Yugal said, it had an influence on the Mata, because that is how Maya works. So Baba says, every bodily being is full of, the dictates of Ravan, full of vices, full of everything. So you do not have love for any bodily being. Don't get trapped in the name and form, because nobody is Shiv Baba, nobody is interested in making you pure and taking you to a pure world. So everybody is, everybody has their own journey. And I'm not just saying that this is done intentionally or something, but even if it's not done intentionally, every soul has its own journey. If the journey of the husband is to not follow the path, then he won't follow the path. But why did the Mata leave the path? Because of the love for that bodily being. So, and when you have love for a bodily being, then love makes you surrender your intellect. That is the quality of love, Whenever you love someone, you surrender your intellect, and then you can't think straight. They influence you. And the history is full of people who could do a lot, for the nation, who had great ideas, but they were attached to somebody, and then that somebody had an influence on them. Then they decided, they dictated what they would do or wouldn't do. And Baba says that if you don't want Maya to interfere in your journey, do not have love for any bodily being. Here love means attachment, or that connection, that emotional connection with any bodily being. Just have love for one Baba. And Baba says just one Baba, and with every other soul, that their journey and my journey is separate. That is a pure soul, that is a good soul. I wish the best for them. I also cooperate with them, I live with them, I help them, support them, but I do not have love for them in the way that their journey, their ideas could influence me. I very well understand that their journey and my journey is different. And even if somebody has different ideas from what Baba has, I empathize with them, I try to help them, but I do not fall into that trap. But when you have love with bodily beings, that doesn't happen. Their journey will become your journey. Their intellect will have an influence on your intellect. Is that true? Yes? Whatever they say will have an influence on you. Because love makes you surrender your intellect. Your intellect will be influenced by company. So this is one word of caution that Baba gives us. And then Baba tells us that even in the Brahmin family, in this BK family, you will meet souls, you will meet BKs who will talk to you about matters other than knowledge. Yes, and Baba says, here also everybody is number wise. So everybody is not going to become a king in Satyug. Some people will become cremators also. You know, in Satyug you need Chandal also who will go and burn the bodies. So Baba says they are all here, you know, disguised as BKs. So you have to understand that your journey is not even similar to any BK. So when we are in the Brahmin family, our only exchange has to be knowledge. So you only listen to those who speak and explain points of knowledge to you, who talk about aspects of knowledge. Knowledge is the only connection we have with Brahmins. We do not talk to Brahmins about other matters, because those who try to talk about other matters, they are traitors. They are just coming as Brahmins, but their agenda is to, you know, is to put you away from this path. And you know, there's one Mata, and I don't know, she became a traitor, you know. Who is a traitor? The one who starts telling you how to not belong to Baba rather than tell you how to belong to Baba. And you know, that Mata just became a traitor. She went to the other you know, team of Maya. And now what she does is, to BK, she would write a message, you know. What the message goes like this. So, how are you? Are you going to the center? And have you heard the latest news? What happened at the center? Have you heard the latest thing? And then, you know, the one who is interested will reply, no, tell me more. And then she starts talking about all the rubbish. So this is how, you know, I'm giving a very fresh example. This is how, you know, traitors behave. And Baba says that, you know, you have to be very wary when somebody is trying to talk to you about matters which are not related to knowledge, which are not about explaining, sharing, or understanding aspects of knowledge. Then do not engage in that conversation. Because, you know, there is a very interesting law that Baba has told us, that even when a small ant enters the ear of an elephant, it drives the elephant crazy. So, you know, whatever you hear will have an impact. So do not think that, you know, I want to know everything and I won't be affected. Because people who come with that agenda, they are very smart. They will tell you things which will throw you off from this journey of self-improvement. So Baba says, so do not have love for bodily beings, and be very wary of, you know, talking to somebody who is not discussing points of knowledge with you. And you know, even when somebody starts with discussing points of knowledge, you must know when they have changed the course, you know, when they have started talking about something else, and then you stop them. Then you have to just get away from there, stop that conversation. So Baba says that this is how, you know, you have to stay safe from Maya. So Maya comes in many ways, but if you are always in that elevated consciousness, always remembering Baba, and you are paying attention and remembering that Baba has warned me that Maya comes in these ways, and you stop everyone who is talking about other stuff right then and there. You don't fall into that trap of, you know, entertainment. That is the trap of entertainment. And so then you can be safe from Maya. So Brahmin children, we are here to serve the world. We are here to create a pure world out of this impure world. And in order to focus on my task of this world transformation, I have to imbibe the jewels of knowledge. I have to have yoga with Baba, and I have to be very careful about Maya. Okay, Om Shanti.